this is Tia Kirby. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome back to another episode of Heart of the Matter. Today we are getting to the heart of the matter with Tasheara Neshell. Let's get into Tasheara's story. Welcome back, everyone. If you are just joining us, we are getting to the heart of the matter with Tasheara Neshell. She is a celebrity stylist and one of the most genuine hearts that you will ever meet. And not only that, she has so much knowledge. As you know, here on Heart of the Matter, I like to find women who are willing to share the parts of their journey that aren't so social media friendly. I want to get past the facade of social media and allow real life to happen, and that way you can connect, or if you are in a similar place or know someone who is, you can be encouraged by their story, their journey, and their triumphs. So with all of that said, I am going to hand the mic over, my imaginary mic, to Tasheara, and she's going to get in and share a little bit about her journey.
I am very mature now. I won't tell my age.
I would say I'm real grown.
I'm real grown today. I recently had a birthday and I'm celebrating myself because I feel like I've overcame so much. What people don't really know about me is that when I was 16 years old, I became pregnant.
Oh, wow.
And, my mom always said, go to school, finish out your dreams and everything else. But I was just so in love with the guy that I was dating in school, and we became pregnant. And it was the most rewarding yet scariest moment in my life because I was a young girl with a baby. So I was a baby with a baby. But my mom, she loved me. My family loved me so much that they supported me throughout the entire pregnancy, throughout the entire journey. However, there were some bumps on the road because when you have a child, you do everything you can to protect that child. And it grows you up really quickly, whether you're ready or not. And during that journey of growing up, I became homeless.
Oh, wow.
I would say, I lost a lot of self-motivation. I lost a lot of self-esteem. And so it was actually my talent of being a hairstylist that kept me in therapy, as I will call it. It was almost like that thing that I felt comfortable with. I wasn't comfortable in where I was going in life. I wasn't comfortable as a mom. I wasn't comfortable as a person. But whenever I would get the chance to do someone's hair, such as a friend in high school or just someone in the neighborhood, I always felt comfortable. So that was that one thing that I gravitated to, was just always, being behind the chair, creating that therapeutic space for myself. Meanwhile, I was forgetting all the other important things that I should have been focusing on, such as going to school,
Gotcha.
Figuring out what I wanted to do to take care of my baby. I was protective, but I was so young, I just wasn't focused on being a mom all the time. And during that process, I had some ups and downs. I worked jobs that didn't pay much. I could pay rent one month, couldn't pay rent the next month.
Wow. A lot of us have been there.
Yes. And it was harder when you have a child.
Yes.
Because the thought of college sometimes goes out of your head. I didn't come from a family that was always well-to-do. They had their own struggles, so they couldn't always support me financially. So I had to really get out there and do what I could for myself. And it was just really being a hairstylist. Without a license, of course.
That's amazing. So what age was it when you really kind of fell in love with doing hair, or when you knew that you were talented at styling hair?
Well, I was fast forward some. I found out that I really was talented when I would say Jennifer Hudson, she was on American Idol.
Oh, wow.
And she was released from American Idol, and she came back home to Chicago, and that's where I'm from. And so a friend of mine whose hair I was braiding at the time, he said, I want to bring her to you to get her hair done. And I said, but me? I was doing hair in a local beauty shop. It was in the heart of the hood. We had water leaking from the ceilings.
Oh, wow.
And I'm thinking, this lady is coming from this big show. I don't want her to come here to me.
Right.
Why can't she go downtown? I was almost embarrassed but happy at the same time. So he brought her to me, and she loved her hair. And it was shortly after that she gave me a phone call to come and work with her again. And that's when I realized that, okay, there's more to this. You know, it's not just a hobby anymore. This is real. I would say maybe around the 4th or 5th time that I had an opportunity to work with her, it was in LA. So Paramount Studios flew me to LA. I was on a set of Dreamgirls.
Oh, nice.
And the very first hairstylist, African-American woman that I saw in that environment was Kim Kimball. And I looked at her, and I'm looking at this set of Dreamgirls, and I'm looking at Beyonce and Jamie Foxx and Eddie Murphy and Jennifer Hudson, and I'm thinking to myself, and I just have a hobby?
Wow.
This is, you know, I'm downing myself because I'm thinking I have a child. I'm supposed to be in college. I'm supposed to be, you know, going to school for nursing or something, you know, something that would make everybody else happy. But I'm sticking with the hobby, and here I am in LA with all these people. How is it that they're so comfortable at what they're doing and I'm not?
Wow. That's a great question. I think we all should ask.
Yeah.
Because we're all human at the end of the day. I mean, of course it's celebrity, but I was just thinking as you were talking, what if you would have really turned that down and said, no, I'm too ashamed of my shop or my surroundings, and you would have never let her come that day?
Yes. I think that it was the friend. It's a friend of hers and a friend of mine, and he was so supportive. I have to say hi to him. His name is Jelani Jones. But he is so supportive of the people that he cares about. And he saw things in me that I didn't see in myself. So it was him that was like, no, Tasheara, you're going to do this. You know, because I did tell him, like, I don't do hair. You know, I was trying to get away from it because I was really on that journey of trying to find myself as a mom. And I was thinking about going back to school at that time. So I'm thinking, no, I don't think this is the place for her. Not me, not here. Maybe somewhere else. And he's like, no, I think, no, Tasheara, it's you. We need you. And so it was really that having that support system around you, people that believe in you when you don't believe in yourself, you really should pay attention to them because you don't have to have anything, but they see everything in you.
Oh, I love that.
At the time, I was a young girl. You know, I didn't think much more than getting a beauty shop in the neighborhood. That was success to me.
Right.
And I can say that for a lot of young ladies who are interested in the beauty industry. There's more than standing in a salon in your neighborhood and never seen outside of your neighborhood.
Y'all hear that? I'm like so loving all of this. Like, pick up these gems because you need them.
You need them. And I challenge everyone who wants to be in the beauty industry, who has a passion or a natural talent for makeup, for hair, for anything evolving in beauty, to step outside of your neighborhood because that's where beauty really unveils itself. It really unveils itself outside of your surroundings, outside of your comfort zone. So, you know, it was getting outside of that comfort zone, the place that I knew most, which was the neighborhood, the hood.
Right.
It was that place that really told me, Tasheara, you can do this. This is real. And you need to go to school for it, you know. And that's when I decided I'm going to go to school. I got pregnant at 16. At 17 years old, I had my baby. And from that age, I was kind of a lost girl. You know, I was trying to be a young woman, but with a mom and with a child, but also very young in the mind. And because I had a baby, I didn't want to listen to my mom so much. I was that girl that thought I knew exactly what I was doing. You know, Mama, you can't tell me nothing, but I hear you.
Right.
And maybe later I'll listen. And I was that girl, but, you know, she never gave up on me anyway. But it's so many young girls out there that have children and they're so headstrong. And I just want them to know from my own experience that being headstrong is appropriate at the right time. Being humble and receptive of someone who cares about you, of the advice and the support that they're willing to lend is smart. That's what success is.
I love that.
It was like a slow pace type of journey. I knew there was something in me. I knew there was more in me. I had an environment of people that I would call associates. Some of them saw good in me. Some of them, I would say, were able to bring me down. So it was hard breaking away from that group of people that I felt like held me back. I had the potential in me. I felt it. But because of my environment, I wasn't able to exercise that potential.
Gotcha.
So I had to step back from some of those groups, some of those friendships, get to myself. And when I got to myself, I had to start from scratch. Starting from scratch was doing whatever I had to do to take care of myself and my child. And it got to a point where things were just too hard. I went from maybe a 1-bedroom apartment to a studio apartment, me and my child. From a studio apartment to living with a friend to homelessness, and nobody knew it.
Like, how did you keep that from everyone and not allow the stress or the emotion of everything to spill over?
I would say it was more so just keeping God in the forefront.
Yeah.
I wasn't in church all the time, but I would go to church sometimes. I would always talk to myself. Like, I would take buses because at one point I didn't have a car. So I would take about 8 bus rides, 2 trains, and walk about 4 blocks just to get to work, take my child to school, and get back to where I was living, wherever that was in that day. And I remember that all the time. Every time I walked, I would say to myself, thank you, God, for my legs. Because that's all I had.
Wow, I love that.
Thank you, God, for my legs. Just prayer, meditation when I was going through the rough times kept me with some confidence. It kept me with face value. I was able to face my peers and still be strong and still deliver on some things without them really knowing my struggle, because I was determined to just get through it.
I'm amazed because I'm just imagining myself being at that age, or even the kids nowadays for sure, being at that age, we're having to take that many buses, trains, and walking every day, and not knowing where you're going to be sleeping, and then but still have the forethought or the gratefulness to say, God, thank you for my legs, or have that kind of humility, because let's keep it real, we're entitled. I think that is so powerful.
I didn't know if I was coming or going, but I knew that I had something, and it was what I was using at that moment. All I could say was thank you, because I was just thinking, God, you know, if I didn't have these legs, where would I be?
Wow.
You know, and I walked my butt off trains, buses, you know, walking blocks, getting up early in the morning, getting out of whoever house I was sleeping at early in the morning with my baby, and it was a tough time. It was a tough time emotionally.
So what would you say kept you most determined during that time?
That feeling inside of me of, you're better than this. This isn't the end. You know, you can keep going. You know what you want, but you just haven't seen it yet. Just that feeling of, God, don't put too much on you than you can bear. You know, that feeling of, if they can be successful, you can too. You know.
So what would you say is the best advice that your mom ever gave you?
Wow, the best advice that my mom gave me, mom is an awesome person. She gave me a lot of nuggets. But I would say the best advice she ever gave me was, no matter how hard it gets for you as a mom, never keep your child away from his father. No matter what.
Okay, listen, say that again.
Yes. No matter how hard it gets for you as a mom, never keep your child away from his father. Never deny your child the right to see his father.
I love that.
The right to know his father. And we weren't together. We were young, but we weren't together, you know, at the time of all of my life, all of my struggle. But I was so happy she told me that, because he passed away.
Oh, wow.
He passed away when my son was 3 years old.
Wow.
And had it not been for her, you know, telling me that, I probably would have been one of those young women who was, I'm struggling. I need you to give me this because I have your baby.
Right.
You can't give me this. I'm not going to let you see him. You don't want to be with me. I'm not going to let you see him.
Wow.
And I wasn't like that. I was happy to know that my son had a father, that he had a man that he can call his father. And, you know, Lord behold, it was a short-lived relationship for him and my son. But I'm happy that my mother instilled that in me, that I didn't become bitter because of my own struggle. And I didn't take it out on my son and his father, because they only had 3 years together. It's something to have experienced that side of the spectrum, because fast forwarding in my life, I became married. And my stepdaughter, who I'm learning, because I met her, the day that I met her, I became her mom.
Wow.
So I didn't even know she exists. And it was for that exact reason. That my husband was not allowed to see his child.
Oh my God.
And so the damage that you do to a child,
yeah,
when you keep a child from their father, it's unbearable. to the child, to the father, to the woman who has to step in place and be her mom. I would say that's almost, I didn't have that opportunity to allow my son to see his father. He was taken from us due to gun violence. Wow. So for a mother to choose to keep a child away from their dad because of what? Because something went wrong in a relationship. Right. Because he's not giving you what you deserve financially or whatever your hurt is. And that could be a valid hurt. It has nothing to do with the child. Right. So now I'm raising a little girl who did not know me, but had to look up to me. Who did not know her, but now she has to live with her dad. So I was taught just the opposite of what her mom was taught. It's funny because you think that you get through the rough times and you come to a great place in your life, and now God places you in a position where you're going to help someone who did the exact opposite of what you did. I gave you those tools because I needed to use you.
And that knowledge.
And the knowledge. I didn't give it to you just to give you a free go, a free pass at life, to just take you from a rough place to, okay, now you're set free. I gave you those tools and that knowledge so you can help somebody. And the struggle is real.
Listen, I know. How old is your daughter?
She is 6 now, but she was 3 when we got her.
Gotcha.
And my son was 3 when he lost his dad. So and their parents passed away 2 days apart.
That is crazy.
And so it's definitely, I would say my life was rocky for a reason. And if it was not for all of my struggles, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't be the mom that I am today, or the wife that I am today, because without all of that experience, I would have ran away from that child.
Right.
I would have ran away from that relationship. I would have ran away from any opportunity that looked like success if had not been for God and just people around me caring about me enough to say, nope, I'm going to push you a little harder because you don't want to do it yourself.
So as a stylist, as a celebrity stylist, what advice would you give even another aspiring stylist or one who is in there but maybe is kind of struggling?
I would definitely say stay passionate. When you walk into a salon, even if you're not working in one, if it's just a desire, stay passionate. Visit salons, talk to other hairstylists, volunteer your services, do things for free. The gift is do things for free.
Yes.
Everybody wants a bag right now. Everybody's trying to get that bag of money, right? But everyone who's talking about how they have bags of money, all the entertainers that people are looking up to today, they had to do things for free.
Absolutely.
Underground that you would never hear about.
Absolutely.
That's what underground means is for the younger generation, it's unheard of, unknown success.
Yes.
Local opportunities that they took for free to help get them to the top.
And then I personally believe that some celebrities or some people on certain levels, they still do something for free because they're marketing their brand. They're trying to reach new heights. And at every level, you're going to have to do something sometimes to help market you, to sow your seed for your platform, whatever it is. So be open. Don't be so prideful and think that everything is about getting the bag.
Exactly. People will pay for what they want to pay for.
Yes.
But you have to prove that you're worth being paid for. You have to prove that you're worth someone's hard-earned money. That someone will go to work all day, all week, get their paycheck, and give you a portion of it. You have to prove why you are so worthy of that. Everybody's not just throwing money away like they used to. People are very smart about how they're spending their money today. So you have to be able to build your brand and build your reputation and build your expertise and nurture your craft before you're expecting money.
These are gems, and not just for a stylist. This is just across the board when you're trying to build a business.
It's definitely a must. If you're not nurturing your craft, then you might as well just, pick another route.
I'm loving it. Okay, so here on Heart of the Matter, I always like to ask a few questions.
Okay.
My first question is, throughout your journey, being through all that you've been through, what did you learn about yourself?
Well, what I learned about myself was I can do all things with the help of others.
Love it.
I'm just going to keep it real. I have dreams out of this world. And I'm learning as I get older that you can do all things, but you got to be able to delegate. You have to be able to trust people to do and help you. And I learned that I can relinquish trust to others, you know, and become successful just by doing that alone.
What advice would you give the younger you, the 16-year-old you, or someone who may be in a similar boat or was in a similar boat? What advice would you go back and give yourself now?
I would say to that 16-year-old me or a young girl in that same situation to stay home. No matter how tempting having your own may look like or feel like, or never compare yourself to your peers.
Good advice.
Never. Always compare yourself to your parents.
I like that.
Stay home with your family. If you have a family that's supportive of you, stay there. Appreciate that support. Build off of that support. You know, at a young age, it's almost impossible for us to give everything to a child that child deserves. So you're going to need help from family. You're going to need help from a good support system.
So tell everyone where they can come and get their hair slayed and laid by you.
So you can come to Tasheara Neshell Salon. I am located in the Legacy Salon Suites in Arlington, Texas, right next door to Toys R Us. And so I will be open arms and welcoming to anyone who sees this video and wants to come in. Just, book online at www.tnsalon.com, and in your appointment, just put Tia Kirby.
Yay! Well, thank you. Thank you so much for being a guest on Heart of the Matter.
Yes.
And thank you for all of the gems.
Oh, no problem.
Thank you.